Getting on you? Yeah, okay. to be free. It's not so hard to see. Why won't you let me be? Total insanity. It's total insanity. Okay, so it's a crazy day today. This is total insanity in the dark. The delayed start time was I like to say I didn't freak out too much. I had a reserved scramble for some lights. And so I'm not adjusting. Well, no, I guess I could adjust this to look better. Check it out, guys. The lights in this building won't turn on. So you can see total insanity in the dark. I guess I'm standing in front of the camera. I forgot about that. And so I got these lights, lighting it to the best of my ability. Turn on, please. Thank you. Okay. And so we're making it work. It's Total Insanity, the dark episode. So, as I've mentioned in my promotional materials, today is the penultimate episode of Total Insanity. So next Thursday at 3 will be the final episode of Total Insanity. There still will be 3 more retrospective encore performances, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that can be seen online and in USF's Contemporary Art Gallery. But as far as Total Insanity episodes proper, this will be the last one's next week. Is this camera, how does this camera look? This camera looks nice and fucking bright, dude. Hell yeah. It was so windy outside. It was like blowing allergens into my eyes and face and nose and wisping my hair into a niblet. Don't be so vain. It's also green screening my hair out in a very strange way. I'm like, why isn't my hair as puffy as normal? It's being green screened out. Okay. So back to, got a little discombobulated with the light situation, but I think overall it's fine enough. So, I love the word penultimate. I truly do. I know, Dad, you called me a second ago. Maybe you were like, why isn't it starting? You can call into the episode. Feel free. But first, let's introduce. Conan would do this. He would be like... And my stepdad was like, is he like doing like a religious thing? Is he like a strange religion or something? I'm like, no, I think he's just bowing with his hands together. Okay. So today is Anime Day. Not National Anime Day, I noticed, just Anime Day. So, anime. I feel like today is St. Leonidas, Bishop of Athens commemorate. Very, very nice. Anime, I feel like has many connotations. I feel like many people... Why is it down so far? It should be like that. Okay. Oh yeah, this was adjusted... This was used for the USF reception guided tour. So anime. I'd like to I'm scrambling to get everything ready for the show while I'm doing the show because the light situation. My dad, you're watching for the first time. Well, you watched my retrospective, but I feel like I haven't streamed in a while, but I have been getting less apologetic. I have been pointing out less of the things going wrong, but today I find it a necessity to talk through it while I boot up Pal and Gal's speech patterns here. So, as I mentioned, today is Anime Day.
You mean that weeb shit?
Weeb? For those of you that don't know, a weeb is someone who's like typically like a white 18 to 30-year-old maybe, or maybe older now, who's like just very obsessed, very into Japanese culture. But Gal, I don't know if it's a need to call it that weeb shit.
Gal, don't be so harsh. Anime is a wonderful art form.
Oh, as you can see, I was on the wrong camera. These two beautiful digital creations based on Leo 2.0 technology we're talking. Also, today's your great-grandfather Nicholas's birthday. Happy birthday, Pop. Cool. So wait, that's my great-grandfather. So that was your grandfather. Wow. April 15th. Okay. So today I have to fill an hour because I'm streaming to the gallery for an hour. And I've been pretty much just sitting back, relaxing now that I've completed my oral defense. I can do whatever I want for now. But I guess I feel like most people are familiar with anime, even those not of my generation, because I feel like it's on. There's a lot of anime on Netflix. My dad's calling. Let's answer. Anime Day, cool. The poor animation painting. Yeah. Okay. Answer. Hello.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, great. I'm sorry about bugging you.
No. This is good.
It's a great show. Okay, first of all, Anime Day. The poor animators don't get paid enough.
That's true.
They really get screwed over. Second,
That's very true.
I got to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
You were really good, and I love your the whole Anime Day theme. My queer named Leonidas, a native of the Theban, Egypt, whose death with several companions is supposed to have occurred during Diocletian persecution.
Okay. Interesting.
Second.
Sorry.
Second, there's another Leonidas on September 2nd.
September 2nd. Okay.
And then there's St. Eleutherios, Leonidas is honored on August 8th.
August 8th.
And I just told you about Bishop of Athens. He lived about the 6th century, and his feast day is April 15th.
Okay.
Now, still, there's another one.
Whoa.
But this is the most famous of all, so you might want to go for this one.
Okay.
So the best known of them all is St. Leonidas of Alexandria, father of the great church father Origen. Origen was also one of those Gnostic guys, like back in Alexandria.
Mm-hmm.
Read some of this crazy stuff. From Eusebius, we learn that he died a martyr during the persecution under Septimus Severus in 2002 AD. He was condemned to death by the prefect of Egypt, Lactus, not lactose intolerant, Lactus. And he was beheaded. His property was confiscated. Leonidas carefully cultivated the brilliant intellect of his son, Origen, from the latter's childhood, and imparted to him the knowledge of Holy Scripture. The feast of St. Leonidas of Alexandria is celebrated on April 22nd. So you don't have to choose that one, but I kind of forced you to choose. Okay, let's give 2 name days. One today and one on the 22nd.
That one's... We can do one. That one's pretty epic, I do have to say. Or,
especially since he was the father of Origen.
The January one was like, I don't want to do that one. That one's too close to my birthday. I need to space them out. So I'm cool with the April 22nd, you said?
Yeah. Now, the one on January 28th, he was cool. He helped 7 maidens. He assisted. All these guys.
What is he talking about?
So, of course, ultimately, Leonidas was the one who defeated the Persians at Thermopylae.
Okay.
But I'll shut up now.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
I appreciate the call, and I appreciate. This isn't a compacted 20-minute Total Insanity. This is a long, hour-long boredom Total Insanity. So any discussion of anything is appreciated.
Oh, I'm gonna pull a Leo because you got it from me anyway. Because you know I like to bitch about things all the time.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
all nervous and upset. And, all right, now I'm getting better at it. Trying to be peaceful. Peace on you.
Me too. Me too.
All right, the NBA. Remember I told you I failed my eye test, my eye exam.
Yes.
Okay.
For drivers.
Okay, so I go to the eye doctor today. He was great. Okay, he examined my eyes and he said the NBA is wrong. They have calibrated their machine wrong. I didn't even use the machine. I told him it was an eye chart. He said your vision is fine to drive. You don't need glasses. He filled out a whole thing. So I go to the NBA
Whoa.
and they have all these people. You have an
Oh,
appointment.
to be clear, it sounded like this is the MBA, the Maryland something, not the NBA, the National Basketball Association.
No, it's the Motor Vehicle Administration, the Maryland Department of Motor Vehicles, Motor Vehicle Administration of Maryland. So, sorry, because I talked too fast.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
All right, so let me slow down. So I go there, of course, the police were there, and they're nice to me. Then they said, look, do you have an appointment? I said, no, but luckily I had the inside man, Devin, right?
Devin.
I said, no, I'm here to see Devin. So I had to wait about 15 minutes, and they let me in. They let me right into the first row. They took my picture. I looked horrible. I didn't shave. My hair was all sticking out, gray hairs everywhere.
It's only
And they
natural
took
to have a bad
my
picture.
license to that. And I told them they need to recalibrate their chart.
Well, that's good that they
Yeah.
are aware of their
Yeah, they're real nice.
completely messed up machine.
Yeah, now it was a $48 fee for 8 years, so I had a $50 on me. And I
Wow.
told the lady, "Can I give you?" She was real sweet. I said, "Can I give you the $50?" And she said, "Sure." And there was $2 left over, and I went because I wanted to donate to the organ donor. I said, "Well, I'll just keep the stinking dollar or two because you can't even buy a soda, but just keep it." She said, "I can't. They'll fire me."
Yeah, because it's
I don't
like
think you're-
you're
Yeah.
bribing a government official or something.
Yeah, when I told her I was ugly, she said, "Just smile, and that'll make it better." So I smiled. She said, "Hold that smile. Take the picture."
The pictures are always weird. The last time I renewed my driver's license, I look like a super like tough guy. Like I don't know. I'm like my hair's like combed backwards. I like have a slight smile, and I'm like kind of like unshaven. I look like how I never look. I look. If I get pulled over, they're gonna be like, "Who's this asshole?" But
Well, that's okay.
but they'll also see me in real life and see my smiling panic. But
But you also have like another alter ego to go by. Like you could always use that on a passport if you're ever an espionage agent or something like that.
Nathaniel Superfly.
If you have to go somewhere crazy. Now, you know what? You mentioned penultimate episode.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately, the very first message I sent under Gina Deezus was the penultimate episode. I like it. I love that word too. Penultimate. It's
Yeah,
great.
I love it. And it's not overused, so it's still nice to use.
Now, I wonder if you were going to break up with someone and you tell them next week, I wonder if you could say to them, "This is our penultimate time together because after next week, I don't want to see your face again."
Wow.
If you see it, no, that's bad, isn't it?
No, that's fine, but they might just be like, I should just play along with the joke, but I'm answering it seriously. Like, they might just be like, well, if you're going to get rid of me next week, I'm just going to say this is the final time right now. No need for penultimate.
What if you want to have one more encounter?
That's
more
true.
intimate-
They're like, I just want to spend one more moment with you. One more. Yes.
Now let's think of something positive to use penultimate for. Like this is the if it's going to rain for 2 days and then get real sunny,
Mm-hmm.
then you can't really apply penultimate to that, can you?
Yeah, maybe not, but
Yeah. All right. I'll think about that for some time and I'll let it go.
okay,
But I don't-
okay, that's fine. I did want to mention back to the DMV real quick.
Yeah.
It's always, known like the DMV's a terrible experience. They're always like busy, crowded, whatever. They did something to like the Lake County, Florida DMV where they centralized a bunch of stuff. They like this huge building. They have like a bunch of people like working. They like greet you. They sign you in like incredibly efficiently. They like they get you, like, they're friendly, like, the environment of the building is nice, and I hardly had to wait, and I went, like, straight to this woman and got my license picture renewed. I was like, this is incredible. And I went to, like, the Google reviews for the DMV, and I was like, they're like, this is the best DMV I've ever been to, and that was honestly an incredible, surprising experience.
That's fantastic. And what they did at the end of my experience, they showed happy faces, sad faces, and crying faces, or happy faces, neutral faces, and crying faces. And they said right in front of the lady, like, press the ones you like. And I said the green one with the happy face isn't enough. You've been so sweet. I need an extra happy one because she can't put an extra happy face on there. That's where maybe you could have come in and done some graphics for the DMV and put like an extra happy face to give the person an extra kudo.
For
really nice.
The next level.
I think the further north you go from the South, because the South is known for their hospitality, the higher you get to the Mason-Dixon line, the worse the DMVs get. Like, they're probably,
that could be true. Though the DMV did used to be, like, when I went to the Tavares DMV to get my original driver's license, that was still horrible.
I think the further north you go, I don't know. Now listen, I am doing this. I'm totally and completely bogarting your whole stream.
That's fine.
I guess I'll sign off and let you do your thing because it's artistic and cool.
Well, before you go, and you can also even call in later depending on what. I have a few things to get to. We do have a message from Nathaniel Superfly, what he's been up to since the retrospective. And there's a special anime Leo that will be revealed. But
okay, cool.
Before you go, like, what are, as like an older person who didn't, like, my generation and kind of like the West's big introduction to anime was like on Cartoon Network in the 90s with like Dragon Ball Z and stuff. That's not the first place it was shown, but that's like I guess though, like, your generation, so like Speed Racer, that's like technically anime. But I was just gonna ask, like, your, like, general impressions and thoughts of, or if it's like a kind of a confused thing, like, you're like, what exactly is anime, or like, or I don't know, maybe you don't have any thoughts about it, but if you had anything to add to Anime Day, I guess.
I think it's fascinating that the anime, okay, is so popular among the Japanese people.
Oh, yeah.
So also, like, among people here. I mean, it's really gotten to the point where it's almost like this really, like, niche cult thing, you know, with anime. I mean, it's fascinating. Now, Speed Racer, of course, as you know, is a classic and is far advanced beyond what credit has been given over the years. Now, the anime, I love to watch the different interaction between the characters. Like, there's always some really cool chick, some, like, hot.
That's, like, very true.
You know, and then there's always some, like, brave guy, courageous dude. So I like the whole, like, how, you know, they're always fighting some type of evil spirit thing. I mean, I think that's good. Like, let's get the demons and, like, bring out the good. So that part, all that, anime is very positive in the sense that it believes in victory over the evil, you know?
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a theme of all that.
And the only thing is about anime is, and like with any industry, right, the people that drive the industry, and I'm not being, you know, crazy or anything, they need to be rewarded for their hard work and perseverance in creating these, like, beautiful things.
They're criminally underpaid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw articles, and stuff.
And I'm sure that the anime market is doing just fine. Right?
Yeah, it's doing better than ever. It's actually, I think there's definitely, like, there's probably, like, the people that are super, super into it, as you mentioned, like, there's that niche culture element to it, and in the past, I think more, but it is becoming more, like, so I think there still are, like, niches and, like, of super extreme people that, like, love it, but I think it has been becoming more mainstream than ever. Like, Netflix has been making their own animes. Like, a guy from Vampire Weekend, like, made his own cartoon. I guess it's technically not an anime. I don't know if it was animated in Japan. I don't know. But it's like making more money than ever. And, yeah, the people are getting paid not well that are making it. Because they just love to, like, draw, I guess. But, like, they get burnt out in carpal tunnel and stuff, probably.
No, right, exactly, as we well know. Now I'm going to shoot a question real quick back at you, and I'm going to let you go because I'm going to call it Bogart. What do you think about about anime. And, I mean, it's really not restricted to the Japanese culture anymore. I mean,
Yeah,
like you said,
I'm by no means like an expert in it, and so I think still to be anime, it has to technically be like Japanese. But I guess like that's the thing though, because people can make things in the style because it has a very distinctive style, and then it could be called anime. Like I don't think there's anybody like guarding the term necessarily. I'm open to it being open. The thing that is really interesting to me is the I always have trouble thinking of like the words I want, like this like good vocabulary.
The more you try to think about it, the worse it gets.
I'll just say the breadth of like top subject matter it covers, because a lot are just like a teenage dude like fighting some monsters, but then there are all these like, this is what I haven't delved into too much, there are all these like niche anime like genres where I saw this one thing called Ping Pong the Anime, and it's like, it's nothing like crazy fantastical with monsters or anything. It's like kids playing ping pong that grew up together, and it's like a story of friendship, and it was like the animation style was like unique and awesome. And
the Japanese are so cool. They're such a neat, like, I don't know, mindset.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like other sports animes, I guess, and I haven't watched this, but there's an anime called Food Wars, I think, where like people like cook, they like have like cook-offs, and like I'm going to cook these like scrambled eggs. I don't know exactly, I've never watched it, but the subject matter is really interesting, how they can just take like mundane things and like make a whole show about it.
I would win a scrambled eggs cook-off. I love scrambled eggs. I should go for it.
Yeah, they probably make better meals than that, but yeah, it is.
I might have to eat some scrambled eggs after Lent. All right, here's the deal. You're the best. Love your show.
Thank
Love
you.
Your hard work. Continue to do what you got to do. I see Nelson up there in the corner. I just saw Nelson.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen. Have a great day. Break a leg. God bless everybody down in Tampa, South Florida University. And I guess I'll let you go because I talk too much.
Okay, no, it's fine. Okay, cool. Thanks for calling in. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks to my dad for calling in. Let me get back my chat here. Sports anime, bicycle anime. So thanks for calling in. That was a good discussion. Don't feel bad about that whatsoever. Hey Leo, it was great that your dad mentioned me. I feel so honored. He remembers me from middle school, and I've been on the show, but your dad's such a cool guy. It's great to have him call in. Thanks, Nelson, and thanks for you're really not very fanboy, Nelson. You kind of got a little like excited there, didn't you? Well, I spent so much time helping you with your insecurities of the show, or trying to guide pal and gal onto the right path, that sometimes it's good to just have some fun, just be excited about something, You know what, Nelson? Of course, man, that makes total sense. I appreciate you being kind of like the kind of like the rock of the show in a way. I mean, I have a very important role in the show, but you always are like put things in perspective. You're always trying to give good advice, and I truly appreciate it. What about me, man? I've risen back from the dead. Don't I contribute anything? Of course, Asbestos Albatross. Of course, man. I didn't take you for the jealous type, but I don't know. Maybe death does that to you. But Asbestos Albatross, you've done so much to advocate for the removal of the mold in FAS. You've flown around the world, I believe, advocating for lung health, and I think you've done great work, and you can probably continue to do it in the afterlife. Oh, thank you, Leo. That means a lot to me. I'm sorry if I came across a little jealous. I just got a little excited too there. But yeah, of course, man. Thanks for having me on the show. I tried really hard to help people out and help them to not have the fate that I had. Tragic, Asbestos Albatross, but it's tragic of the fate that befell you, but at least we can still talk in ghost form, and yeah, man. Thanks for being on the show. So, as I mentioned, we're at halfway through the show now. If anyone else wants to chat in like their favorite animes or call in their favorite anime, feel free. We have a good amount of viewers right now compared to my retrospective streams, encores. So I'm like, if you want to call in, if you want to chat in, tell me thoughts on anime. Tell me your favorite thoughts on anime. Tell me if you hate anime. Ralph's calling. Okay, here we go. So I feel like you know more about anime than I do. I don't even know if you want to offer some of your favorites, maybe some recommendations, or if you want to offer your analysis on how anime is in the culture. I don't know, dude. I had a whole thing that is kind of go off track. I was going to talk about like Toonami and how, but it was going to probably last for like only 5 minutes. So I'm glad that people are calling in and filling out the show. Anyway, I guess, yeah.
If you want to talk about the Japanese animation in North America, some of the earliest localizations would be of Journey to the West in 1960. You have Jonathan Winters doing some voice roles. You have a lot of, I can't remember everybody offhand, but they dubbed it. It was originally a musical in Japan. It attached Osamu Tezuka's name to it in order to promote itself, even though it had very little to do with him. It was very lightly based off of his work. He, not to go off too much because it's such a broad subject, but he created Astro Boy just for reference.
Yeah, Tezuka's a great manga anime man. Yeah. The Disney of Japan, could you say?
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to refer to him. It's interesting because he was inspired by Disney and then vice versa, but that's a whole nother subject. So they localized Journey to the West as Alakazam the Great. It's still, in my opinion, very excellent. It's never been put to DVD or Blu-ray. VHS was the last time it was released. However, for those interested, it's available on Amazon Prime streaming. It's the only place I've been able to find it. It was on Netflix for a little while years ago, but it's a beautifully animated movie, and it's also the first to introduce Japanese animation to the West. Very classic story, but they renamed all of the characters. So Son Goku or Sun Wukong, depending on whether you're going by Japanese or Chinese names, the Monkey King has been renamed to Alakazam, and he is a monkey who does magic. The story remains relatively the same, but like I said, it's like there's Max, Luli, Popo, like Snarl, and the names get really ridiculous. But it helped introduce the West to Japanese animation without even necessarily realizing it.
Is that Popo name related to Mr. Popo in Dragon Ball Z at all, or no?
No.
Okay. Because wasn't Dragon Ball influenced by Journey to the West?
It is.
Okay.
Dragon Ball is, to make another connection, it's interesting that Journey to the West is, in a way, been so popular without people necessarily, without it being obvious or whatever, because Dragon Ball started off as a parody of Journey to the West.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Series. Yeah, so it started off, it wasn't supposed to be very long. Akira Toriyama, the creator, previously had run a long series called Dr. Slump about an inventor who's terrible at inventing, who has a robot little girl, and it's like a gag series, but has a lot of sci-fi elements. It's a lot of fun. So after probably 5 years or so of doing that, he did Dragon Ball, which, it was supposed to not run that long, but it was so insanely popular, it continued for 9 years. Where originally I think it was only supposed to be a few weeks, maybe a year long run.
Damn.
So all the martial arts aspects were added on after the initial mirroring of like Journey to the West. There's like the Ox King.
Okay.
There's Bulma represents like the priest that guides Son Goku. Oolong the pig is like, it's literally a pig who joins them in Journey to the West, like a pig man.
Okay. What about Yamcha?
Oh, and Yamcha, yeah.
They just added him on to be a pitiful character.
No, I think there is like a bandit character who joins them at one point, but it's been a hot minute since I've
That's fine,
gone
man.
through that. And then there's another one that was early on that I haven't seen, called Magic Boy, which is, the original was young Saratobi Sasuke. Saratobi Sasuke was a famous ninja. Can't remember if it's mythological or historical, or maybe a little bit of both. But it's in... That was another early one. You mentioned Speed Racer, I heard earlier.
Yeah.
Infamous. Like your dad was saying, honestly, like, it doesn't sometimes get enough credit. It's really wild. The car stuff, like the animation, like, even though it's stilted, it used the limited techniques to still capture. They used animation where necessary to get to still kind of draw excitement out of the audience.
Yeah, definitely. And for some reason, I watched like every Speed Racer episode. After the Speed Racer movie, I was like obsessed with Speed Racer, and I watched every episode for some reason. But yeah, it was pretty enjoyable. But
Astro Boy is another big one too that came out around the same time.
yeah, that's a big one, definitely. I appreciate your history perspective here. You've given a better introduction than I even knew about or could do from my knowledge, so I definitely appreciate that. Yeah, man, and you've introduced me to a lot of, like, there's so much anime I missed. I kind of, like, almost grew out of interest. Not that I don't think you can, like, if it's all for all ages, potentially, really. But I kind of grew out of it for a little bit, like, as I went to high school or something. But so I missed a lot of when stuff aired on like Cartoon Network or Adult Swim or whatever. So there's a lot I haven't seen, but I'm still trying to get back into it. And still, like, over the years, like Fooly Cooly particularly, I remember you showing me like in your basement. I'm like, what the heck is this? And a couple years later, like I go back to it and like really appreciate it. So yeah, man, I appreciate that.
I think one aspect is like people often look at like anime as a genre in itself, and not so much as like a medium.
That's true too. Yeah, that's really true, actually.
Japanese animation, and like you were kind of saying, it's rubbed off on different countries because people grew up with this stuff. So there's plenty of shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was made in the United States but has an aesthetic that's very similar to like anime.
Yeah, definitely.
Japanese animation. And because of that, there's a huge variance. There's drama, horror, comedy, and then there's all sorts of, I guess, like, what makes people go, oh, anime, is there certain genres that you don't necessarily see in North American media very much.
Yeah.
Like, the harem, trope is some boy moves into a apartment complex, has to manage it, and it's all girls. And
Well, he is
they
very
all
knowledgeable.
Have, like, tropey personalities or something. That's something that you see mostly in like anime and manga, the comic form. One of the more popular ones that's starting to come over, it's called isekai, or it's like where somebody gets transported into another world. You could probably draw parallels within like some North American media, but often it's become a very popular trope in the last decade, I'd say, in anime, where a loser gets hit by a car and dies, and then ends up in a fantasy world where there's some sort of aspect. It's a power fantasy, so
Okay.
to speak. You know?
Yeah. There could be some analysis done on that, I'm sure, of
So
how it
it's, like,
relates to
it's crazy,
society.
man. Like how it's such a deep hole to fall into, and I would argue that there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
I think
Definitely.
it's also like worth bringing up. I watched the entirety of Dragon Ball with my parents. They fell in love with it. Offhand, I decided to show them a few episodes, and they didn't want to stop watching, which is not something I expected.
Yeah.
Over the course of like a year and a half, I'd say, maybe 2 years, we watched all of Dragon Ball, all of Dragon Ball Z, and then a few of the movies. They even went to the theatrical showings
Whoa.
of the ones they released here. And that was cool. That was a good way to like bond with my folks. But it was wild because, like you, I grew up on Toonami, so my first introduction was Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
All these characters are thrown at you. You're thrown into the middle of the story, but you don't really know it because
Yeah,
we
yeah.
didn't get anything else before that. But my parents got to watch it in Japanese from the very beginning, and the reactions they had were so unique to like someone getting to view it through the lens the first time. My not to like spoil much of anything, but like when one of the characters dies, my dad wanted to for the first time. My dad wanted to stop watching the show. He was upset
Whoa.
because nothing like that had happened tonally
Mm-hmm.
in the first 150 episodes.
Yeah.
And so it's a huge hit. Whereas once you get into Dragon Ball Z, there's like almost like when people die because you can bring them back to life once or whatever the stipulations are.
Which they even get around that, I feel like, at a certain point, right?
Yeah, it's like they're the further it goes, you know, there's always like different stipulations and stuff.
Yeah.
There was much more impact earlier on, but it's interesting. It's like, oh well, they hate this character Piccolo because he was introduced as a villain, and they were like really unsure of him. But then they grew to love him because of his interactions with the son of the protagonist, Goku's son Gohan. You know.
Yeah.
So that was a really interesting experience, but also because they're older, you know. It was wild to me that it transcended like the cultural and even like maybe it was the fact that they had never watched anything with such strong continuity before. They attached themselves to certain characters. My mom was upset when Goku grew up as a child, and then she attached herself to his son Gohan. It was really wild.
Yeah.
But it was effectively designed for like younger boys because it's like the shonen, which it just means like young boy magazine. They would print all these like battle stuff aimed at boys, but it's crazy how sometimes media just different people find different things to like about it.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of is wild that even to me that your parents are like it. Like I would imagine like my parents wouldn't care about it, but I don't know. Maybe if I showed it, it would surprise me too. And definitely talking about how we started with Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I think when I remember when you were rewatching it with your parents, I was like watching through Dragon Ball and maybe Dragon Ball Super at the same time. But yeah, it was so great to actually go back and be like, oh, okay, like this is the history of like I didn't realize like Goku and Krillin had such like not intense history, but like I didn't realize they had such like a deep history. This is where this character comes from. I always heard Piccolo used to be evil. Oh, now I can see it. It was really, and it was different because we already know what happens, so it's got to be wild like watching it straight through for the first time. But it was still good to see how like all the friendships and the history related that I didn't even like get watching Dragon Ball Z initially. Like there was this whole other level of history.
reminds me of, like, I don't know, The Simpsons, and, like, the way that you could put people of different age groups and backgrounds, like, in the same room. They would watch the same episode, and what they would laugh at would all be completely different and varied. And I think sometimes it's like a sign of, I don't know if it's necessarily, I don't know. I was gonna say it's a sign of like a good show.
Yeah,
but that's not
that it can.
to say that's not hyper focused isn't good either.
Yeah,
it's
but
just.
I think I know what you mean. As
it's cool to see something so accessible, I guess, but still have be able to like convey some sort of like emotional impact.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, it's like even just like mentioning like The Simpsons being, here in North America, like when we look at animation that's like I said, Dragon Ball was designed for like maybe like 12-year-old boys or so. But what kind of shows sort of transcend audiences within animation, I guess? Like how many shows do we have that like that in North America? A lot of them run on Fox. You have like Bob's Burgers, and The Simpsons, Family Guy is like a little bit more adult oriented.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I feel like there's a bigger divide. It's like this is for kids and this is for adults.
True. Yeah, and maybe those borders are a little more permeable in Japanese animation.
I mean, in Disney films, you could say that there's like sort of
like Pixar stuff too, I guess.
But there's still like a little bit of hesitancy in like content,
Yeah, because there are truly like, I don't know. There's like super adult anime. There's like super kid anime, I guess, and then there's like a lot in the middle. And in the U.S., I guess it's more, it's like either like a kid's show on like a kids network, or there's going to be like, this one's for adults, I guess. Yeah, I can see.
You don't really see slice of life sort of animation in North America either.
Yeah.
Honestly. And that's a huge one. And that's, I think, slice of life that can give a lot of people very emotional responses, because a lot of times it's based in reality and deals with like relationships like between people.
Yeah, definitely.
But usually if something like that was to come out here, it would be like a live action show.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely get what you're saying on that.
King of the Hill might actually be, in a weird way, it's like it's tough to make comparisons, honestly, but that's a slice of life show, basically.
Yeah.
Like a North American slice of life show. That's probably the closest thing I can think of. Maybe Bob's Burgers-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But even those are very comedic leaning.
Yeah, that's very true. Animation in America is often very tied, especially the adult animation, tied to comedy, and isn't necessarily used for maybe some more serious subject matter. But I haven't watched King of the Hill too much. I can definitely see how that can like tackle more like life things, almost like it's not really sitcom-y because they go so many different like places that they're not just like in like a living room, but like it has, I guess, a similar in the way that certain sitcoms maybe tackle more like serious issues or just like everyday life stuff. I could see how King of the Hill kind of does that more than other ones.
In a capacity, it could have been live action, but they chose to make it animated and in a way that makes it special.
Yeah.
Also, people hold on to the early Simpsons seasons, like the first and second especially, because of the emotional aspects of it. There's definitely a lot of tear jerkers, and I'll be honest, sometimes I skip over the first and even some of the second season episodes because they're more emotionally driven than the stuff later in the series.
Yeah.
which turns into like an absurdist sense of humor. So I hadn't really considered the aspect that maybe, you know, that's why people hold on so hard to those like early seasons. Is like we in North America we really don't have anything like that has that sort of in animation, at least. We typically don't get that in television shows.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Okay, I think I'm gonna I got a few more things to get to in the show. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for giving expert analysis and commentary. I think we had a pretty good discussion that was decently wide-ranging for our relatively short time.
Absolutely. Yeah, sorry I jumped around.
Oh no, you're fine, man. I don't really have much else to fill up the show. I'm like, this is good. I'm glad people are calling in. This is what I want. I'm glad people are interacting. So I don't mean to like. I'm just gonna play Nathaniel Superfly video, which I forgot to put on my computer. So I'll just play it from my phone, I guess. And we'll briefly talk to Anime Leo, but that was never really that planned out either. So that'll be the last 10 minutes. So anyway, dude, thanks for calling in, man.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Of course, man. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so thank you, Ralph. Thanks for calling in and offering a very knowledgeable and thorough analysis, dude. No, Ralph, he really knew a lot about anime. It was great to hear his thoughts on the matter. Yeah, Nelson, I totally agree. Let's see some, I haven't been reading any of the chat here. Medium, yeah, it is. I could have talked about that more, about it being a medium. Yeah, because it's so, like, we don't just call all of American animation, like, look at how much just American animation varies, and then, like, anime varies even more. Okay, so didn't put, Nathaniel Superfly sent me a video. I did not put it on my computer. I do not have a cord to transfer it, so I'm just going to play it from my phone and hopefully... Wait, I put it on here, didn't I? No, I guess I didn't. Okay. Well, I want to be able to hear this. Hold on here. Get this thing away. Get my volume up here. Hopefully this is audible. And hopefully this is visible as well. But at this point, there's no way for me to get it on. Nathaniel Superfly, he's rocking a different look these days. Let's see what he's got to say. Hey Leo, Nathaniel Superfly here. I'm just chilling out in your room, man. Really appreciate you letting me stay in your place. You know, after we went through the whole thing in the mainframe, you went your way, spoke to Dogcat. I went my way. I didn't get to talk to anybody cool like that. I just pretty much got blasted right back to planet Earth. I mean, not that the mainframe isn't on the planet, but you know, it's kind of another dimension in a way. But yeah, man, I basically by that point, I seemed, because I had been in the mainframe for years. You know, I lost my home. I had nowhere to live. I had no possessions. Everything was gone. They thought I was like dead, I guess. And so it has been great, like reconnecting with some family. Yeah, man, I had no place to stay. You let me stay at your place. I really appreciate it, man. I guess congrats on a great ride with Total Insanity. Congrats on your MFA, man. It's great to be out of the mainframe. It's great to not have to worry about figuring out like coding and shit to hack into your stream, man. It's great to just take a break from coding. I think I might take up painting myself, man. Yeah, I've just been having a great time watching some Star Wars content on Disney Plus. Maybe we can order pizza tonight or something, man. Just chill out, you know. But yeah. Just wanted to say hi. Wanted to call into the show for once, not freaking attacking the show, man. It's great to be. My hat's kind of slipping off here. It's just. let's just say I can just breathe a sigh of relief. I think you feel the same way about getting past your oral defense, getting that MFA, man. It's just great. Anyway, okay, how many times can I say it's great, right? Okay, but catch you later. Thanks again for letting me stay at your place, and you mean have a great episode. Hey, Leo, Nathaniel. Thanks, Nathaniel. I appreciate the message. As you can see, he's doing better now. I think he's still got some dark things about him, but he's definitely lightened up a bit. He's definitely taking it easy a bit more now that we've figured out kind of the dualities of our existences, and he's back in the world. It's he's just having a pretty good time, and yeah, man, of course, no problem to stay at my place, but I don't want him to stay at my place for too long, because I think he might start annoying me. But yeah, man, Nathaniel Superfly, awesome. So let's go back to my chat here. Like, not the NBA, the National Basketball Association. My stream is playing very far behind. Okay. Painting, not coding. Nice change for Superfly. You make me laugh. Good, thank you. There's some people though I don't make laugh at all. But why do I mention that? That's dumb. Humor is such like, not a, God, more words I can't think of. People have such varying tastes in what they find funny, and so I don't think anyone is ever going to be funny to everybody. So, you know, some people think you're funny, some people think you're so effing dumb. Like, I love Norm Macdonald. So many people think Norm Macdonald is like an idiot. But anyway, okay. Got a few minutes here. Let's say hello to Anime Leo. Hello. Wait. Let me get the studio mode thing set up here. Hello, Anime Leo. How's it going, dude? Hello, I'm Anime Leo. It is good to see you. Now, Anime Leo, I didn't plan the voice. That's the voice that naturally came out. I hope it's not bad. Anime Leo was basically, because I didn't feel like drawing or didn't have time to draw today, a quality anime character. I just stole one from Full Metal Alchemist, I believe, and just kind of adjusted his hair a little bit and made his mouth move. And so we got Anime Leo. So, how's it going? I don't really have much to say. I was just created for this small bit. Whoa! Anime Leo! Wild! Are you making fun of anime tropes, Leo? Anime is much more than this. As Ralph discussed, there's many more than just action anime. It's slice of life. There's a lot going on there. But man, there's always like, what? Huh? Anime. Whoa. Whoa. This is very Speed Racer. And that's about all I had planned for Anime Leo. I just pretty much wanted to have like that background. And the show was filled out perfectly today. My dad and Ralph called in. It was perfect. Anime Leo, do you have anything else to say? Because I personally don't know what else you would say. It's a shame that it's so dark in your studio and your green screen is erroneous, because I believe I don't think it matters truly, but I did think about this. Anime Leo trope looks like Tom Cruise a little. Yes, yeah, man, I know, like, I wasn't trying to, like, what? I wasn't, that's better for reaction shots, not discussion shots. I wasn't trying to, like, make myself look super handsome. I just searched, not that I'm not, I just searched, other people can judge that. I really, truly don't know. I just searched anime glasses, and he was like kind of unshaven. He had the glasses. He had kind of a long head. I was like, this guy's the best guy I could quickly find. But yeah, he's definitely a bit cooler than me. Oh, I'm definitely, of course, a lot cooler than you. Look at my cool jacket I wear. I'm much more fashionable, much more stylized, much more chiseled. Come on, man. You really, what? You're gonna diss me like that? Well, that's all we got. Whoa! Ah! That's all we've got. Thanks once again, everybody, for chatting and calling in. I appreciate my dedicated viewers. This has been the penultimate episode of Total Insanity. Total Insanity is surely ending. A final episode next Thursday at 3. I need to plan for the final episode. I need to get, I guess, videos of people sent in and just have like a bunch of like, I don't know what, I gotta figure it out. But the holiday, there's a hair in my phone. The holiday is Earth Day, which is fitting for Total Insanity's global reach. And Total Insanity's holistic view of connection and interaction in the metamodern ethos and post-ironic era. And so with that, these guys didn't talk too much today, but they talk enough. Not to mention, they've had some bad attitudes lately. But Nelson and Albatross are always cool. Oh, thanks, Leo. I appreciate that, as well as your previous comments earlier that were praising my existence. Of course, Asbestos Albatross. Why did I think your name wasn't Asbestos Albatross for a second? I don't know. I had a little slip up there. Anyway, yeah, that's it for the show today. Thanks for watching. We made it work with the no lights. Don't know why the lights don't turn on. It doesn't make sense. Catch you on the flip side.